Hey guys, Az here and welcome back to another speed build. One that has definitely been a long time coming, a bit like the last one actually. I guess I sort of got back from work and had my holiday, and I wasn't ready to finish having my holiday, so I haven't really been uploading or creating a lot because I've been too busy enjoying my time off. So apologies for that. I hope everybody else has had a wonderful summer, or, well, it was summer for me, I guess winter or autumn or spring, wherever you are in the world. But regardless, I hope you've had wonderful holidays. We're eventually coming to the end of mine. I mean, I've got this weekend, and then I go back to work in 2 days time. No, 4 days time, because rather than go back on Monday like everybody else, I am going to go back on Wednesday because, was not keen for Monday. And it gives me like a 3 day week, and then I'm back into the next weekend again. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, today's speed build is a bit of a different one. I'm actually trying to recreate here the Globe Theatre, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. And this is one that my sister suggested I do because she is a huge Shakespearean sort of a fan. And she sort of said, why not try and recreate that? Because I was like, what do I build? I haven't built anything in so long. What should I have a go at building? And this was actually her recommendation, is to do the Globe Theatre. So this is what I ended up doing, I guess. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I was building it and I had her sat next to me on the computer, like, what happened here? Does it look good if I do this? What sort of railings did they use? What sort of pillars do we have? And she's telling me, no, this, yes, that, yes, all these different what it should look like, sort of thing. And especially this bit here, she was sat right next to me, like, this pillar looks the most like the ones, and that what it would have been like. So, she definitely 100% had my back while I was building this. So thank you to my sister for, helping with that design process, I guess. I'm actually really happy with how it did turn out. I don't think it's perfect. There's no way that you can recreate the Globe Theatre exactly in The Sims, but I feel like get the materials that, we got, and all the build sort of buy stuff that we have, overall, not too bad. You know what I mean? So not at all complaining there. So I did a little bit of Googling not long ago as well, and I found some fun facts, because my sister would be really disappointed if I didn't let you guys know stuff. In fact, she wanted to be here recording, but because I have literally just got home from staying at my parents' place yesterday, I've sort of just decided to record it today, not family time, in my own time, when I can actually, talk to you guys and not worry about, missing out on, any of the fun activities that you do with your family, So anyway, the globe is, the one that is there now is, not actually the original. So the original was built in 1599, destroyed by a fire in 1613, and then rebuilt in 1614, but then it was demolished again in 1644. So the modern globe reconstruction is, it's the Wikipedia, because I've got Wikipedia open, I'm 100% cheating. It's an academic approximation based on available evidence of the 1599 and 1614 buildings. So it's considered quite realistic through contemporary safety requirements. Contemporary safety requirements mean that it only accommodates 1,400 spectators compared to the original theatre's 3,000. So a lot, there's like just under half of like what it originally sat. But yeah, I still think it's pretty massive. Like, it's huge. So the Globe was founded by the actor and director Sam Wanmaker. Built about what am I reading here? Built about 230 meters from the site of the original theatre and opened to the public in 1997 with a production of Henry V. Also includes those facts aren't as fun, I feel. either way, it's actually it's a pretty cool sort of a theatre. Like, I love the idea of, like, it's completely sort of like it's round. Obviously, you can't do round buildings in The Sims, round walls or anything like that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool theatre in that you sit right the way around the stage, and there's like these VIP boxes that you'd think you don't actually get a very good view of the stage, like, at all, but apparently you do, you know. Apparently you get, well, apparently if you were rich in that time, you don't go there just for the show. You go there to show that you're real rich and that you're, you know, all that sort of big fancy kind of stuff. The roof, oh my gosh, the roof was the worst thing to try and build. I sat there with my sister, like, how do I do this? She's like, try this, try that. And eventually we thought we had it cracked, like, here, but then I was like, no, that still looks ugly there. And eventually we were just like, you know what, give up. Just, you know, it looks good regardless. The roof is not that big a deal. And at this point she's like, just come back to it later. You can't deal with it now. Come back to it later. And it was like, okay, can't deal at all, because there were so many gaps, and I was just, at this point here, I was literally screaming at my computer. One of those moments, if you know what I mean. But hey, we got there eventually. I mean, if you look at the backstage roof, I guess, the roof above the backstage area, that is sort of what we went with the sort of how it had the open, I don't even know how to, yeah, well, I'm doing it now anyway, and it worked, because I discovered that if you use the ones with the one face or two faces on either side, and then the ones that don't have any faces, it looks more or less smooth. So I was absolutely stoked that we got there eventually. Thank goodness, because roofs around this sort of a shape are a mission. Now we're sort of at the furnishing point, and my sister was talking to me, and she was saying, right, so these are the sort of seats that would have been done on the lower levels, and these are the sort of seats that would have been on the middle and the upper levels, because on the very bottom, in the middle there, with the dirt ground, that's where the groundlings stood. So, you know, that's where people actually stood and watched the plays. And those were the very, very lower class people, the ones, you know, at the bottom. And then on the little stage platform that I'm working on now, that is where the not lower class, but like people just above the lower class sort of stood. Or not stood, but they had seats, and those were just plain wooden benches, you know, not much else to them, just very, very plain. No sort of upper class cushions or anything like that, but they were rich enough to afford seats, so that's where they went. And then in the middle layer, I guess we're not even on the middle layer, on the bottom there's those two VIP boxes, and although the view to the stage is really average, that is where VIPs sort of sat, and so that's kind of where we've got the cushion on the chair, and that's where the seating's a little bit more comfortable, and that, like I said before, that's where they went, where they could be seen. So that's what's happening here. I don't actually think I kept those seats, because I was like, they look way too modern, too white, too pure, way too modern to me. So they do get changed out for something that looks a little bit more traditional. Because you look around and it's kind of like, it just looks like cushiony slabs. And of course we had to have thrones of some, well, not thrones, but like comfortable cushioned seats, and the next level up VIP box. And I don't think that there is actually a VIP box for like the next level up. But yeah, this is me changing the benches out, and I was like, you know what, these ones work so much better because they're still wooden benches, but they've got a little bit of cushioning as well. And so I've sort of, and at this point, decided on what sort of chairs we're going to have on each level, with my sister's input. Obviously, of course, she had to have that in there, and she was actually really helpful for this entire build, to be honest. It was fantastic to have her sitting beside me, like, oh no, you need to have maybe more this colouring, because blue is quite a royal colour or whatever. So I was like, all right, we'll make the benches a little bit more natural. And And we threw more of those sort of throne-looking settings on the other side, and that's where the VIPs. I'm not actually sure if that was like if the people that sat in that bottom box and the box in the middle were better than those that sat on the very top level. Like you'd think so, right? Surely, because they've got such fancy seats. But then the very top layer was supposed to be the best sort of, I don't know. That's weird. So at the moment I am just about to start working on the backstage sort of area as well as lighting everywhere. I think most of the rest of this video is just like me tutoing with lots of things because I wanted old kind of lighting, but at the same time it was like, what sort of thing can we use that's actually gonna give off light properly? So eventually I just decided on, I'm just going to put these hidden objects lights everywhere because you can't actually see them when you're playing the game and it still gives off enough light, you know what I mean? And then just throw a few candles and bits and pieces around to sort of give the illusion that that's where the light's coming from, if you know what I mean. It wasn't really an illusion, but yeah, close enough. So yeah, and we threw those miscellaneous, I guess, lighting up pretty much everywhere. But then also, when I was building this, my sister was telling me that back in those days, they didn't use the theatre at night time. So it was always like day shows. And they would, like, if it was meant to be nighttime, then the actor would walk onto the stage with a candle and people would be like, oh, he's holding a candle. Obviously you can't see it in the daylight. It must be nighttime sort of a thing. So she said there wasn't actually a lot of lighting in the theatre itself or like anywhere because they were always daytime shows. But either way, I sort of just wanted to throw a few bits and pieces around, which is what we did in terms of lighting. Now kind of working on backstage area, and this in no way is a really good representation of what they actually had in a few of the images that I looked at. In fact, I didn't actually see any images of I guess the backstage area. I just sort of guessed, but then at the same time downstairs there's those big double doors, and I don't know, I feel like the layout of the downstairs backstage especially would have maybe been just a little bit different than that of what I've done, shall I say. And at this point here, my sister was actually like, oh, there's a trapdoor. I forgot about the trapdoor, and that's where all the bad guys or whatever come out of, down from is it hell or something like that? So of course I had to throw a trapdoor, and she was just like, just do some wood the wrong way around, and then and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that, and then put fencing around it, and that is our trapdoor, ladies and gentlemen. That is how that works. But yeah, no, so your random sort of fenced off one box is a trapdoor. Now in terms of the outside sort of space, I used those tiles to measure how many boxes that there were across so that I could I guess move it to a smaller lot so that it wasn't like so big, and I was like, you guys can put it anywhere then. So yeah, and I put a whole bunch of windows around as well because my sister's like, oh, and there's like 2 windows on each side, and I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna do heaps of them. And we ran with it, and it kind of worked. So happy with how that ended up in the end. And I cut this bit here short a little bit as well because it was literally just me putting bushes around the entire globe. And there wasn't really much else to it. I don't, because this is definitely not what the current one looks like in terms of outside greenery, but it was something that I wanted to do because it didn't look, I don't know, I just wanted it to look have not boring on the outside, and I feel like greenery did the thing. And I think that was actually something as well that they had back in Shakespeare's day anyway, is the greenery and all that sort of around it, like whatever. So that's sort of what we went with, and trying to work on the ground. So I'm terrible at ground painting. I absolutely suck at it. But then I also discovered that I didn't have a bathroom, and I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And initially my sister had sort of said, well, actually there's like an external, like there wasn't one in the theatre, there was one sort of external, and I was like, no, not doing that. This is my version of the globe. So we've put we've put proper bathrooms in on the very, very top level of the globe itself. And absolutely run with it. And it's not, I don't think it looks too bad. It's just an easy sort of more modern, I guess, adaptation of the bathrooms. And that was the last thing that I worked on, I think. You'll notice in the screenshots and when you download the lot itself that there are a few little bits and pieces that have changed. For example, I'm pretty sure I got rid of the 2 mannequins that are standing on the stage and the balcony, and I put a tapestry up as well or something like that. But they're just a couple of small things that I did that I noticed when I was taking the screenshots. Anyway, guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun to build, and I'm so glad to be hopefully properly back now, so uploading on a weekly basis again. Fingers crossed, nothing distracts me again. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. It means a lot to me. And I hope you've had a really good holiday. I hope you had some good time to just relax and unwind and have a good time. Thanks again so very much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!